So, good morning, good afternoon, students. Today we are going through the book An Introduction to Earth Science by Dr. Amal Das Gupta, and we are on the paleontology chapter of page 298 of the actual book and 303 on my application Moon Reader. So let's start. So on the 20.11 section we have the uses of fossil in paleontology. So the application of fossil in geology, especially stratigraphy, may be discussed on the following headlines. Use of fossil in biostratigraphic classification of rock. In stratigraphy, fossils are commonly used in biostratigraphic zonation, means to differentiate a stratigraphy with another stratigraphy, differentiate, and as well to similar, to make similarities to a stratigraphy to a another stratigraphy of another region. So the upper and the upper and lower boundary of a biostratigraphic zone. Biostratigraphy means biologically active sedimentary strata, means where fossils are present. The upper part indicates the last appearance of the fossil, and the lower or the bottom part of the biostratigraphic is referred to the first appearance of the fossil. The upper and lower biostratigraphic generally don't do even. So the upper and lower boundary of a biostratigraphic zone is generally drawn on the event of first and last appearance. First appearance is upper. Okay. Such a rock division marking the total range of a taxon is called taxon region. So from the first appearance to the last appearance, the full region is known as the taxon range zone. So this zone is generally named from the name of the taxon concerned, and the name of the strata is based on the name of the fossil found there. So two or more overlapping zones, if in the particular sedimentary strata we found more than two fossil groups, then they are termed as congruent range zone. Association of several zones, and if several types of fossils are found within a single biostratigraphic zone, then such stratigraphy is known as assemblage zone. If and when the rock marking is identified with the maximum number of, in a particular area where there is a maximum number of fossils found, such a region is known as acme zone or peak zone. Now second uses is correlation and age determination of rock by use of fossil. So fossils are also used in stratigraphy for the purpose of correlation and age determination. Of a particular fossiliferous bed or zone. Upper and lower boundary of a taxon range zone may be two significant time planes in regards correlation. Correlation by fossil may be done in regional or intercontinental scale. So fossils are used in stratigraphy for the purpose of correlation, for identifying the particular age of that rock body. Upper and lower boundary of the taxon range zone may be two significant time planes as regards correlation. Correlation of a fossil may be done in regional or international scale depending upon the nature of the spatial distribution of the fossil. Fossils of an organism showing widespread বিল মিলাব নোৱাৰে পিছত may help in international correlation. An index fossil may be defined as taxon. Mostly species having a short vertical range and wide geographical dispersal. So it's important that index fossil show short time span, short vertical range. Short vertical range means in the biostratigraphy we found the index fossil in very short area because they don't live for very high time, but with means horizontally they are very active and vertically they are quite less, but wide geographic dispersal. Naturally they do not help in intercontinental correlation of rocks, but they are accurate markers of the age of the rocks. They do not help in correlation of rocks, intercontinental correlation of rock. Sorry. Naturally they not only help, they help very much in correlation that in some time this fossil is traveled from here to here, and if we found a particular fossil in A region as well as in B region, then it is sure that in some period of time, in some age, a fossil traveled in the B fossil and deposited there, or the A fossil the fossil contain the bed containing A and the bed containing B fossil are at some period of time are joined together. So but also accurate markers, index fossil are very accurate for marking the age of the rock. For example, Redlichia neontlingi is a trilobite index fossil. Redlichia neontlingi kata Redlichia neontlingi Redlichia
red color
then the most abundant rock in the upper continental crust. My God! The most plutonic rock of the upper continental crust. Granitoid. For index fossil of lower Cambrian recorded in various countries including Asia. Macrophallus is an ammonite index fossil of Middle Jurassic. S animal with pelagic habit. Pelagic means benthic pelagic. Pelagic means which can travel, which travels in water, means like example fish, may show quick dispersal within a short time. Index fossil among them are very common. So pelagic, the animals with pelagic habit means which live in the oceans, not in the ocean floors, which live in the oceans. Example fish show much quick dispersal within a short time, so they are referred as excellent index fossils if they possess a short vertical distribution. So কোনটা এত ভালো তোর বাচ্চা আনলাম ভিতরে খারাপ এরম এত বাইরে দিকে তে দেখতে এত বড় আসতো so here we are getting the index fossil engine কি লেখা নেই রাইস ব্রেন অয়েল ওইদিকে দেখো ডাইলা দেখো না देखिए now uses of fossil in the interpretation of past environment or paleo environment. So paleontologist can interpret the past environment from the fossil records. The past environment of a particular area is can be identified by the fossil study. Many organisms show retain in their skeletons as well as soft parts some impression of the environment in which they live. Often such structures in fossil are compared to those of living counterparts. For example, colonial corals of the present day are found in restricted in tropical seas within the oceanic depth of 50 meter and temperature of about 27 degrees Celsius. From this, it can be inferred that fossil colonial corals of Paleozoic and Mesozoic also indicate the same depositional condition. So, fossil colonial of Paleozoic and Mesozoic also indicate the same among the terrestrial organisms. Plants are by far the most important indicators of environment, as they normally exhibit variable types of modification of morphology under different climatic conditions. Plants growing in a region of profuse rainfall are found to develop large leaves and large size vascular tissue. This is just reverse for plants growing in deserts, which are practically leafless plants. Alternate high and low rainfall rate of growth of vascular tissue resulting from dark and white rings known as the annual rings within stem of the characteristics of the plant growing in a region with seasonal variation in rainfall, alternate dry and wet season. So from the fossil study, one can depict the paleo environment or the ancient environment of that particular region when that particular type of animals were living. Okay. So, for example, we can find that the colonial fossils of colonial corals are living in Paleozoic and Mesozoic indicates the same depositional condition. Okay, among the terrestrial organisms most exhibit among plants are by the most important indicators of environment, as they normally exhibit variable types of modification of morphology under different climatic conditions. Oh yes, the animals show different types of body parts, different types of morphology in their body when they live in different types of environment. They exhibit a modification in their body according to the environment. Okay, so, yes. Along with plants also modify themselves according to the environment. For example, in the plants living in evergreen where the rainfall is very high, they have broad leaves, very big leaves, whereas the plants living in the desertic regions possess very small types of leaves or sometimes no leaves, because there is a scarcity of water. Alternate high and low rings alternate high and low rings of growth vascular tissues. So the In the stem of a tree, we found uh, circular markings. These are the high and low growth of vascular tissues, which uh, which which is the characteristics of plants growing in a region with seasonal variation. The the markings, the annual rings, these are known as annual rings. These are the characteristic features of the plants living in the seasonal rain, where in environment with seasonal means summer vacation, in summer with rainfall, and in winter with less rainfall, seasonal variation of rainfall. So reconstruction of paleogeography. So paleogeography means the ancient geography, or the geography which was processing in that particular age when the fossil was in a living condition. So fossils sometimes help in, sometimes no, fossils help in construction of some past geographic elements on the earth as a whole. Two group of terrestrial fossils in rocks of Permo-Carboniferous age in continents of the world may indicate of two supercontinents, one Gondwana land and of southern hemisphere with Glossopteris flora, and one Angara land in northern hemisphere with Lepidodonton flora. So fossils are useful for construction of the ancient geography. Example, when from two groups of terrestrial fossil in the rocks of Permian and Carboniferous rocks in continents of the world may indicate the existence of two supercontinents. There are two supercontinents. One name is Gondwana land, and which is situated in the southern hemisphere of the earth. Southern hemisphere. Gondwana is on the southern hemisphere, and Angara land. Always remember, Gondwana is southern hemisphere. Gondwana, southern hemisphere. Remember like this. Remember like this that Gondwana is in the bottom part of the earth, and Angara land is on the top. The characteristics of Gondwana are Glossopteris flora, whereas characteristics of Angara land are Lepidodonton flora. Lepidodonton flora. You can write it. Seems to be important. Wait. For Gondwana, sorry, Gondwana land, we have Glossopteris flora, whereas for Angara land we have Lepidodonton. dendron, flora. Now the fifth point is fossils as evidence of organic evolution. Fossil evidence in many cases can support the theory of organic evolution, that amphibia are evolved from fish can be documented by the earliest amphibia fossil Ichthyostega. The earliest amphibian fossil is Ichthyostega, showing some intermediate characters between fish and amphibians. Similarly, earliest Jurassic bird Archaeopteryx. So the Amal Das Gupta is full of information. The earliest amphibian fossil, first amphibian is Ichthyostega, Ichthyostega. And for first bird, Jurassic bird, first bird is Jurassic Archaeopteryx, Archaeopteryx, which is the first bird of Jurassic period. Reptilian character indicating derivation of the reptile ancestry. So from the fossil study we can also depicts the evolution. We can create an idea for the evolution of organic evolution. Now application, the sixth point is application of fossils in exploration of economic deposits. So association of some type of fossil in some type of economic association of some type of fossil with some type of economic deposits is also known. Coal beds are normally associated with rocks bearing profuse plant fossils. Oil bearing formation also in many cases yield lot of microfossils, especially foraminiferous. So the G point is stated as coal beds are full of plant fossils. Coal beds are full of plant fossils. H is here as oil bearing beds. Oil bearing beds are full of foraminiferous. Wait, I am writing it with my red pen. Coal beds are because of plant fossils, and oil bearing beds are because of foraminifera. Okay, this is because the origin of coal is related to plant debris and microorganisms are possible source of organic oil deposits. Now, oh, I have successfully completed a lesson. Yes, successfully completed a lesson. Now in the next chapter, that is chapter 21, the morphology of plant fossil, then general account. The, these are not so important points. The general account should be read, but the morphology of the plant is not important. The important parts are not this. Yes, the important parts are here: geological history of plants, these are somehow important, and this record of plant fossil in India, this is important. So this is for the lesson number 20. In the next one, this is in the next video, we will discuss about the lesson number 21, plant fossil. Thank you for now. Meet you soon.